Welcome to Trello for Travel Agents. My name is Dee Beck. I am a travel advisor and a huge fan of Trello, using it in our business to make our life easier. In today's video, I have a special guest for us, the one and only Rita Perez. And if you are not familiar with Rita, I am so excited for you guys to learn about who she is and all that she does for our industry because it's a lot. Before Rita gets into it, I just wanted to share a couple of updates, what's happening in my Trello world. If you are interested in any templates that are ready to go for you, I do have an Etsy shop and they are 40% off for the month of August. All right, guys, we are welcoming Rita Perez, and I'm so thrilled to be with her today. I actually met Rita last fall, and I know Rita when we spoke last, I thought it was in January, but you also do Travel Industry Black Friday, which is
Yes.
so cool. So that is another thing I would love travel advisors to be aware of. Rita puts together basically like Black Friday Travel Agent Edition, and she is phenomenal with giving us all the good things out there that we use for our business. She also runs Host Agency Review Host Week. She helps out with that. She has a wonderful podcast that is called Strategic Travel Entrepreneurs, and she runs a Facebook group of that same name. And that's not even what we're here to talk about today. Like Rita does it all. We are here to talk about prep for Wave Week, which is coming up September 21st. And I am honored to be a speaker for this event on day two. But I will let Rita talk more about it because she knows more about it than I do.
Yay. Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, Trello fans. Super excited to be here as we are really heading into the cusp. I can't believe it, like less than 30 days away from prep for Wave Week. And I would also like to hear like your once I get started talking about like wave season, like what's your personal experience been with wave? If it comes at the beginning of the year or separate time of year. But as Dee mentioned, I kind of wear a lot of different hats in this industry. And really, the mission of everything is to make sure that you are also a really great business owner as a travel advisor and a travel agency owner. When I say the term travel agency owner, I don't just mean if you have independent contractors underneath you, because if you still are a business owner, that means you are an owner of a travel agency. I don't know where in the industry it became like owners meant you had independent contractors underneath you alone. And I'm like, but that's not the case. So there is a wonderful event that I brainstormed 6 years ago, which is crazy to think that it's already been 6 years. It's called Prep for Wave Week to help travel advisors prepare for wave season. Wave season is something that typically happens at the beginning of the year, like quarter one. Now, I know a lot of people like have different types of wave seasons. So if you don't happen to have a wave season, like a big rush of business in the beginning of the year, like I don't want you to feel bad. I know plenty of advisors who still do like quarter one is their busiest quarter, but some of them maybe quarter two or three become a little bit busier. Whereas like quarter one might be busy, but then quarter two and three are a little bit quiet. So really the premise is I want you to be prepared in your business for whenever that wave season does have to happen or does happen to occur, because I don't want you to be like scrambling around trying to like keep up with everything, because it can get a little crazy having like multiple inquiries. If you're doing a lot of FIT bookings or working on different groups, it is a lot to manage. So if you're a little bit more prepared, that is really what wave season helps to alleviate. And I feel like you gain just a little bit more confidence and clarity going in. As I pop up the screen share so that we can take a look a little bit more about the event, like what's your own personal experience with wave season, Dee?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think after the holidays calm down, I wouldn't say it's right at the beginning of January because I think people are catching their breath still.
Mhm.
But maybe like towards end of January, there's a little bit of panic for spring break, and then people. I'm in Ohio, so people are ready to book something for summer, so they have something to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah. That I know when I was focusing on the agency side of things, that's kind of how I felt. Like I feel like maybe February is things when things like really started to pick up. And especially if you are handling other responsibilities, if you are a caregiver, if you have a full time job, it's even more important for you to be prepared as we head into the season. I have gradually made prep for Wave Week come a little bit earlier through the year. Also, originally, this was run in November, and I was just finding throughout the years, everybody saying, like, I don't have enough time to implement all the things that I've learned, which is why Prep for Wave Week happens usually now the last week of September, so that you have all of quarter 4. And I know quarter 4 is a busy quarter in itself. We've got lots of different holidays. We've got Halloween, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's. It's big festive season. So, on top of like you celebrating festive, I know many of your clients are also celebrating festive. So, at least you have like the full quarter to like go in. You've gotten a couple of ideas from Prep for Wave Week, and then, like, once the holidays, like, really hit, you can focus on your family, your friends, or however you happen to celebrate. So I do have to give a big shout out to some of our partners for the event this year. We have Find Travel, which is really like an event directory. They are like Lisa, who runs Find Travel, is so well connected, and she actually vets the events. So she makes sure like that she's either communicated with the people behind the events that are on the website. You'll find a lot of like ASTA events. You'll find, which is American Society of Travel Advisors, if you didn't know. There's also a lot of like fam trips, ship inspections. So lots of really juicy things for travel advisors there. With Stephanie Cannon, I feel like I've known Stephanie at least for 6 years now. She is like the finance guru within the travel industry. She does have her CPA. And so I believe she's announcing something at Prep for Wave Week, which I don't know how public it is just yet. So you're going to have to wait for Prep for Wave Week to find out her big announcement. Then we have Cruise Business Blueprint, Corrine. You might know her as Travel Biz Boss. So she's got two sides of her business. Everything like systems and workflows is Travel Biz Boss with Aaron. And Aaron is actually going to be speaking at Prep for Wave Week this year, talking about like creating a really nice client experience. And then Cruise Business Blueprint is really your cruise business in a box. So if you are really wanting to lean into your cruise business, really great resource there. And last but not least, really excited about Globe Thrivers. So if you've been wanting to like diversify your income and kind of make some affiliate commission by sharing different itineraries, Globe Thrivers is the place to do that. And I know they have a study hall session this year, so we're going to get all into what Globe Thrivers can do. But I'm really excited to partner with them. We connected from the Women in Travel Summit earlier this year in May. Just really great because I know even like, well, if you remember 6 years ago when we had that big thing happen, it was very important to have like diversified income. And I feel like this is a way, like maybe if your bookings aren't high, maybe you can supplement through some of the platforms or some of the things that are included with Globe Thrivers and vice versa. This is also a way for travelers to be able to find travel advisors through a platform like Globe Thrivers. So super duper cool. Now, when I first created Prep for Wave Week, I was like, okay, we kind of have to organize a little bit here. It can't just be an event like where everything's happening all at the same time. So there are 4 days, and each of the days is broken up into different areas of your business. So, day one, we're talking a lot about your essentials, the foundational pieces of your business. Day two is operations. We talk a lot about systems, tech, and then also just making it easier for your clients to experience the amazing services that you have. Day three is marketing day, which I know we might have a love hate relationship with marketing because it's always changing and it feels like a big science experiment sometimes. And then day four, it was super important for me to make sure that I included a sales day with this event because while you are in the travel industry and you are in a people industry, you're also in a sales industry because you can't stay a business owner without having sales within your business. So let's go ahead, check out some of those amazing speakers. Something that I also want to preface too with the speakers is that it is really important for me to make sure that there's different people who are lifted up, meaning like I always make sure there's 50%, at least 50% diversity in my speakers, whether that's cultural, whether that's LGBTQ plus, whether that's if you're neurodivergent or you have chronic illness. So you're going to see lots of different people, and hopefully, you're going to see people that look like you or can identify with you, because there's so many different things that make us unique. And especially in the travel industry, there's so many different types of challenges that people might have, and it's good for you to be ahead of them, which we're actually going to talk about that for day two. We have a session kind of aligned with that. Another really great thing that I like doing with Prep for Wave Week is not only putting industry people into the event, but also taking some of my favorite educators that I learned from and bringing them into the event. So actually, day one, you'll see Julie Costa. She is somebody that I've been following on social media, I would say at least like 2 years now. And I got into one of her programs earlier this year. She is all about subconscious reprogramming and like hypno breath work. So I know it's very woo-ish, but it's also about, and I feel like especially as women, as people who might not have like that natural like gung-ho like business owner mentality, reprogramming your brain is something that we need to kind of retrain. And especially if you have like thoughts about money and making money, being able to reprogram it so it becomes a little bit easier for you and you don't feel as guilty for things like that. Actually, I'm recording with Julie later on today, so I'm like, I don't know where the conversation's going to go, but really focusing on how can you smash some of those limiting beliefs and rewire your brain during this like quarter 4 period. So once you start the new year, maybe you have like a little bit more mojo or pep in your step as you're going, or a little bit more confidence in your business because we've been able to rewire a little bit. Then Stephanie Cannon, just mentioned her, but we're talking about tax essentials for travel advisors. This is a this is a pack session. I see this one is a lot of the sessions are super packed. Like I have to like just give a shout out to the speakers that I've already recorded with because they have really given it their all in these sessions. And then last but not least, Tom Carpenter of Carpenter Law Group. If you happen to listen to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur podcast, Friday, August 28th, a new episode released, and he's actually my guest speaker. We're actually talking about the legalities and of using AI within your travel business. I wanted to make sure, like, I have talked a little bit about that, but I'm not a lawyer. So I made sure to bring on somebody who actually practices in and out. This year for Prep for Wave Week, he actually did a similar talk last year about the latest in fraud and scams. There are always new things happening. And I think, especially with AI, it's a little bit easier for fraudsters to be a little bit scammy. So, what are some of those things that you just need to do to either protect yourself or just stay ahead of the game, be aware about as you're going into wave season? So, that is day one. Day two, we have Operations Day. So, first up there, we've got our hostess with the mostest, D. We had a really chock full session all about Trello and how you can use it. And Dee did an incredible screen share for this session. So it's not just we're talking about it, you're actually going to see like how does she use boards? What are some ideas of how you can use boards? How can you customize your boards? So if you're really wanting to get like super practical, definitely listen in on that session that's coming up on that Tuesday. Then we have Dana Zifisak. So Dana and I are similar but different. We're both gluten-free travelers, but she has celiac and I do not. So she is talking a lot about like for people who do have like the allergies when it comes to dietary needs, what are some of the things like you as a travel advisor can be ahead of, or how can you assist your some of your clients who might be traveling like with similar types of challenges as you do have to travel. It's so interesting too because recently I was hearing about a wheelchair user on Instagram who had visited the magical resorts and not celiac, but she had to move resorts because it wasn't fully accessible to her. And it's just been really interesting to hear her story. And also the assumptions that people have with people who do use wheelchairs. And there's certain things like I would have never thought of, like making sure that like the air conditioning control is to a certain level for people who are in wheelchairs. I think a lot of the problems that she was listing is that she was a solo wheelchair traveler, and a lot of the not great responses that she got from the magical resort was, oh, well, normally people travel with somebody that can help them out. And I'm like, well, that is not a viable excuse to be using because everybody should be able to travel and have a really great experience. So while we don't go into that, like this is why I feel like some discussion about special dietary needs and like even just like special needs across the spectrum is just really important to have when it comes to operations and helping your clients. And then last but not least, on day 2 for operations, we have Erin from Travel Biz Boss. And we're going to get into all of the nitty gritties of making sure like different areas of your client experience are like nice and buttoned up. I think we're also going to cover like how you can like implement certain things within different CRMs and just making sure that this is one of the things that you definitely want to have taken care of in advance before a busy season does hit you. Then moving on to marketing day. We've got some fan favorites here. I'm sure everybody might know at least like one person here on our marketing day list.
And also, Rita, just a
Yeah.
quick thought on this one. This was also a really great podcast that you did. I know with for sure Kyla and Crystal. I'm not sure if Anna
Yes.
was the third, but that was a really great social media podcast too.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the episode number, but it was the last week of June. So if you're looking like date wise in your podcast planner, I did a social media day, kind of like a homage to social media day where I had Kyla and Crystal, and then I also had Wendy and Kelly. So Wendy from Red Grape Social and Kelly from Legato Host were also on, and it was just an incredible episode talking about lots of the different social media trends, kind of what we see going, what might stick, what might not stick. So, really, really great episode. Had to bring half of the crew with me to prep for Wave Week this year. I will say a lot of the sessions this year were also requested from the people who attended last year. So, like Kyla's session about editing for social media, that was something that was directly in the feedback. So, I will do like pre-event and then post-event surveys. Definitely fill out the surveys because I do listen and I make sure like whatever you're needing in your business, we make sure to showcase it in prep for Wave Week. Kyla is like a Canva extraordinaire. She's just really great at designing things, and I just can't wait to see her presentation also on how you can make like editing easier and also like give yourself a little bit of an edge because we're not fans of supplier content over here. We're not fans of AI content over here. Now AI assisted where it's like helping you write, sure, but AI graphics, flyers, not so much, not so much over here. Then we have Crystal Straub. That was a really great session I recently recorded about warming up your email list to get them ready for wave season. We talk about like if you have an email list, if you don't have an email list, if maybe you have abandoned your email list, how to get everything back on track, like no what matter like where you might be with your email journey. And then Dina Farmer is another travel advisor who she has been kicking butt with being a guest on different virtual summits or podcasts. And so I wanted her to kind of like come and talk all about that because I'm such a huge fan. I call it a OPP, getting on other people's platforms. And I don't think enough travel advisors take advantage of that. So she like spills exactly like the different opportunities that she's found, how she finds them, how she preps for these different opportunities. Because right now is a really great time to start like mining those opportunities so that you can pitch yourself, so that hopefully either by the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, those are starting to go live and you're starting to get people like added to your email list, possibly inquiring to, or maybe you get a couple of Facebook followers.
Yeah,
We
I'm
do
looking
have
forward to
a,
her.
huh?
I was looking forward to hers. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really great day, just like day one. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one. We do have a featured study hall co-host, fan favorite, also Kristen Richards of Inflow Design Co. So at our study hall sessions, this is if you upgrade to the study hall pass, you're able to come to some of these study hall sessions. So we can talk about any of these topics above here, or she is an extraordinaire when it comes to websites and branding. So if you're needing additional support and you're wanting to like get direct questions answered, you'll definitely want to be here at the Wednesday study hall co-host session. And then our last day, we have sales day. So that's when I'm personally going to be presenting. This was requested for me to bring back my kind of like reverse engineering session. So where you're working, you're planning out your sales backwards. I think this is, and like even me when I was baby travel agency owner, nobody had mentioned how to set up your business so that like you're going into it with a plan and with success. And so I'm going to kind of like uncover some of those things that you should be doing to help you work backwards so that you do have a plan and you're not accepting maybe every inquiry that comes, or maybe you're more easily able to refer people off and just focus on the types of travel and the types of people that you want to help and serve, and just focus on that type of travel and be able to easily refer off the other types of travel. This is another packed day, and I know I'm saying it for everybody. Michelle Woodson Howell, she was actually on the first prep for Wave Week. She is an extraordinaire when it comes to joint venture partnerships. This is another stinking packed episode where like she's just spilling everything. She now limits joint venture partnerships to just a one group a year for her, but she was running multiple per year in like her heyday or her high life. But she is sharing like how she has found someone, the process of like booking, maybe having like some agreements with them, how it can be like a true joint venture partnership. So if this is something that you're wanting to get into, you're going to have some concrete answers outside of somebody just telling you that you should book groups. You're going to have like the tactical information of how that can get put together. And then last but not least, we have Sam Burmeister. She is not within the travel industry, but she is an avid traveler, as you can see the title of her copy agency, Nomad Copy. This is a really great session about putting copywriting on your website that sells. So we talk about like if you're doing like groups, what should be on like those sales pages, what should be like on your about page, your services page. She kind of talks a little bit about the structure of some of these pages, and then just going into like some general like storytelling ideas for copywriting. I know that we're heavily using AI to write out copy, which I think it's a really helpful tool. But AI doesn't know a lot of these different tips and tricks. And they also don't know the insider information that you know about your clients, of things that like they're super passionate about or that they might be irked about. And so this is like where this session like really hits the highlight, because Sam kind of gives that human first approach where like you might have like a concept of what you want to be writing, and then maybe AI helps you flesh that out a little bit more. But it's really making sure that you keep the human in your writing, which also helps like with the dissonance and the nuance that goes into your writing, and it just doesn't sound like somebody else's AI copy that they put on their website. And then for this day, this is where Globe Thrivers is going to be our featured study hall co-host. So we have founder Sheer. We're also going to have Rachel on her team coming on to just answer, and maybe you might be able to get your Globe Thrivers account set up. It is a free account to set up, no charge there, and like maybe walk you through the platform. So we can talk a lot about Globe Thrivers and the platform, but we can also talk about some of the other sales topics for the day. So that is, before I get into anything like when it comes to like the different entry points, any big questions or thoughts that come up, D, for you?
No, that's a really great lineup. Would you take me back to day one? Because I just had a couple of thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am excited for I'm not familiar with Julie or Stephanie, but I am looking forward to both of those. And Tom Carpenter is such a great advocate and he really does have our back. So there's a lot I've learned from him. I think he does have a YouTube channel and his Facebook group
Yes.
is also phenomenal. So if you're not already in that, I highly recommend that. And then day two, um, yes, these are also new names. I'm familiar with Travel Biz Boss. I think I got to meet Corinne on host agency review host week. We did like
Okay.
so that was really fun to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Met her there. So yeah, that'll be a great week, a great day of events. And then day three, Kyla also has a wonderful Facebook group. Crystal has a wonderful
Yes.
Facebook group. And Crystal actually worked with me on my FAM Trello board that I have in the Etsy shop, where
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
packed full of things that you just take with you on those or site inspections to quickly fill out and gather information. And she provided an awesome list of social media picture and video ideas. So
Nice.
she's going to be a great one too. And I'm excited to hear from Dina. And then, of course, always great to hear from Rita and what she has to say. And then I'm looking forward to Michelle and Samantha, also new names for me.
Yay. Oh, I love that. We got like some fresh blood because like there's some fan favorites that I will either have like every year or I'll try and like rotate so we can get like some new names that are out there too and
Mhm.
some fresh perspectives. So there are three different options when it comes to the ticket. And this is why I wanted to highlight some of the partners because they really help to make the education as accessible as possible. So if you don't have any extra funds, go ahead, just sign up for that free ticket. You're going to get access to all the recorded sessions. So all of the speakers, the 3 daily sessions, you're going to get access to all of those plus the virtual trade show, and then there's also going to be a virtual swag bag of goodies. So you're going to get everything that you need, like for your basics, inside of that free ticket. Now, if you wanted to take additional action and you wanted to come to the live sessions, that's what the study hall pass is about. So Kristen Richards, and then we have Sheer from Globe Thrivers. And then I'm working on Monday and Tuesday, our study hall co hosts. New this year, we're going to do like a little pre-week for prep for wave week. So on the 15th and the 17th there's going to be additional live sessions. The 15th is going to be a virtual networking sessions with everybody who's in the study hall pass, some of our partners and some of our speakers for the event. So hopefully I'm able to, please forgive me if I flub up a little bit, but I'm going to break everybody out. Networking is really fun because I don't like to do stale networking. So the concept behind that is that I'm going to give you a focus question. You're going to be able to break out 3 times with hopefully 3 different groups, and just meet any peers, maybe meet some tech providers, meet some of the speakers. So it's not really like a pick your brain session. It's just meet other people. And if you're kind of a rookie at networking, I think this is just going to help you flex those muscles a little bit easier because we're all in the industry, so we all have like this extra like forgiveness in case like you're not totally perfect. Like it really is to help flex your muscles. And then the Thursday live session is going to be a partner roundtable. So you're going to hear from some of the event partners live, like a quick little 10-minute demo, or be able to just ask them questions live also. Also in here, you're going to get a private podcast feed. So this is exclusive to the study hall pass. You can watch the presentations Or if you're on the go, maybe you're on a trip, maybe you just want access to listen to them like a podcast. That, like, I love being able to have a private podcast feed because there's a lot of times where I can't watch the presentations, but I'll listen when I'm in the shower or I'll listen when I'm brushing my teeth. So always love adding one of those. And then I'm going to give you a to-do list with a couple action steps. You're also going to be eligible to submit your name for some of the giveaway opportunities at Prep for Wave Week this year. Now, if you want to take full advantage of everything, I do an annual Plan Your Year workshop. So if you've gotten a lot of ideas from the event and want to take action, this might be your best bet because it is the most affordable that the Plan Your Year workshop will be. And you get the study hall pass included. It's 2 days with me at the end of October, where we're going to be actually putting to action a lot of the things from my session at Prep for Wave Week, where we're identifying what your numbers are. We're going to figure out what your sales plan is. And that is how we create the marketing plan. So we're reverse engineering everything so that you're definitely more prepared. You're also going to get a bonus implementation day. So you've created the plan. Are there some things that you can like put into action? Like maybe you're going to start scheduling out some emails and writing your emails. Maybe you're working on some blog posts. Maybe you're working on your quarter 1 social media. So that's what the bonus implementation day is for. So really, the higher you go, the more action that you want to take. If you're not able to attend Plan Your Year live, you can get access to all the recordings as well as the special Google Sheets that I add. And I'm hoping to also create some AI tools that you can use that make the whole planning and the workshop a little bit easier for you. So those are the different levels. That's a little bit about me. And then I have some frequently asked questions. But let me know if any questions have popped up for you, Dee, or anybody else that's on. Happy to answer.
Yeah, that looks great. Did you want to go through those questions, or did you
Ooh,
just want,
yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to highlight anything that gets asked a lot or.
Let me see. Ooh, the probably this is the most in I don't know if it'll let me open it. Can I access the sessions after the dates? Yes. Um, all of the main 3 sessions every single day will be recorded, or they have been pre-recorded, and I do that on purpose for a couple different reasons. I do live with multiple different chronic illnesses, which is a lot of fun. Sarcasm inserted in there. I'm also in Florida, which means it is deep in hurricane season. So I just make sure that as much as possible is pre-recorded so that you can access it wherever you're coming in from. So if you are traveling, you can still access that. If you are not available the week of, you can still access it afterwards. There are 2 sessions that are not or will not be recorded. So if you're in the study hall pass, all of the Monday through Thursday sessions will be recorded. The ones that aren't recorded are the networking session, because that's kind of weird to record networking. So we won't be recording that one. And then the partner roundtables, just because it's going to be in different breakout rooms. So I feel like that's the biggest question. Another big question is that what time do the sessions start? And again, everything outside of the live sessions is pre-recorded. All of the live sessions, I tried to make it as easy as possible. They're at 3 p.m. Eastern time for an hour. So again, like nothing that you have to be like, oh my gosh, am I gonna miss out, unless you are in the study hall pass and want to join us in the live. Will there be a session to navigate the event? Yes, the Friday before, I'm actually going to make not only the trade show available the Friday before, but I'm also going to have a recorded video so that you can walk around the portal with me and see kind of like where do you find everything. So just navigating that as well so you can see a couple things. Will there be subtitles? Yes, the recordings will be unlisted on YouTube. And so it'll just be like the different YouTube captions that come up. There are no refunds because it is such a digital event and you do get access to a lot of the things immediately. So if you do upgrade, there are no refunds for that. And if you have any other questions, you can just feel free to reach out to me through my email address, which is linked up. I can't open it here for the way that I'm doing the screenshot, but it is linked up there.
Yes, and I will put everything in the description for signing up for Prep for Wave Week and also for Rita Perez, Steer Your Marketing, her website where you can find her podcast and her Facebook group. And Rita, thank you so much for doing this for me, for our group. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to speak on day 2. I loved our conversation and sharing Trello. And there are some freebies coming your way for those that do sign up for Prep for Wave Week, a couple of Trello boards. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that I really loved our session. I feel like you blew my mind with some of the capabilities that Trello has for travel advisors. So I can't wait for everybody to watch.
Yeah, that's our time flew by. I feel like I could talk about Trello forever. So thanks for
Right.
thanks for listening.
Right.
All right. Well, I am going to sign off. Thank you so much, Rita Perez, for talking with us today. And don't forget Prep for Wave Week. You can register starting today, and it begins September 21st. It is a free virtual event for all travel advisors.
Yay.